innovative content, global audience.
Yes, people. What a day to see Daddy Kris again, live from London. Today is a great day, and I'm here to talk to you about something very important. You know, you don't see me always now, but I'm back fully. So you'll be seeing regular broadcasts coming all the way from here, from me, Daddy Kris, because it's a new year, and this is how the new year starts with us. Well, tonight, it's one-on-one with Daddy Kris. And I have a special guest. I'm going to introduce him shortly. But let me talk about the topic of tonight first. It's very important that you understand what the topic of today is all about. It's talking about the rich and the poor. The rich and the poor, where? The rich and the poor in Nigeria, our country. We're going to put that in focus and talk about why are some people rich and why some people poor. Perhaps that's something we don't have to talk about. Maybe God made it so. But the most important thing is, how do you carry a society where there are a lot of poor people and a lot of rich people? Because that's what Nigeria is. And I figured this, and I've already traced this to one thing only. One thing only. That is the gap between the rich and the poor is as a result of our minimum wages. The truth is, I came on the show one time and I said, Nigeria, you're still practicing slave trade. And nobody want to listen. But the effect of slave trade is what we're hearing now. By the time some people have it all, and some have nothing, and then meaning you can command people to do what you want. That is slave trade. There's no other definition for it. It's slave trade. So that is what we see. We are practicing slave trade in the 21st century Nigeria. And I know the federal government don't want to call themselves slave trader. The state government don't want to call themselves slave trader. Even we, the elites, are not calling ourselves slave trader. But where on earth do you have people earning that kind of money? Let me put it this way. In the United Kingdom, where I'm broadcasting from today, the only thing that can send you your company to close it down or send you to prison is if you pay below the minimum wage. And guess what? What that minimum wage is today is £12 per hour. Minimum, meaning if you employ somebody earns a minimum of £1,500. In Nigerian money now, that would be about 3 million naira. Minimum wage in the United Kingdom today. But how much do you guys really pay people in Nigeria? You see, the only reason that what makes, last time I said to myself that having traveled around the world and having a lot of experience, especially in Europe, I discovered that the only difference between Africa or between Nigeria and the United Kingdom, let me use it very clear tonight, is because of the amount of money you get paid when you go to work. So this has nothing to do with the government alone. It's about the structure of a society we find ourselves. Now, tonight I'll be looking at not just this, how the minimum wages, how we make some people slave traders and some are slave trade. This is not everybody want to be a slave trader. Don't forget, when the white people came to take us to America, they took our people and they were actually paying us more money, but because they were still giving them food. Yeah, they call them slave trade. Today, if the government of Nigeria, in fact, if they don't have any conscience and pay people 60,000, 30,000 in Abuja where you cannot even, the minimum rent there, what a disaster. And the implication of that is there will be insecurity. Insecurity will remain a self-fulfilling prophecy by the time slave trade reigns supreme as it is now. But I'm going to take my time to bring in my guest tonight. I don't want to talk so much. So I want to bring in Roland. Roland Idimi is always my sister guest. And when I have a very difficult topic like this, I try to bring it in. But before I bring him in, I want to say something. For those of you, I really want to talk to everybody. I talk to the federal government for paying that amount of money and not enforcing it. But let me remind you guys too that it was the rich people that introduced welfare package in Europe. You know what welfare package is? Like in London, if you're not working, you have a minimum amount of money the government gives you every week, so you go and feed. They know that if you don't have something to eat, you're going to be a problem to society. Yet, Nigeria have all these young people who have nothing to feed them, and you allow them to go on the street. It's a recipe for disaster. The first right of a human being is right of self-defense. And that means survival. If a man doesn't have what to survive, he's going to do anything to survive. That's why we eat each other. If you put human beings together and they have nothing to eat, they will kill each other to feed themselves because it is a human instinct to survive. Right now, the basic survival in Nigeria is lacking. What we have is anarchy in our land. Insecurity. The whole thing we're hearing about is no normal person. Like me, it would be unthinkable for me to go and think of kidnapping people because I have something to eat. But if I have nothing, only God knows what I will do. There is no amount of conscience. You know, when I talk to Nigeria, I like it. They no, we are Christians, we're Muslims. I say, go to hell with your Christianity and your Islam. The problem we face now is not about Islam. It's not about the North. It's not about the South. It's not about the Yoruba Hausa man. There are only two classes of people in Nigeria. Only two: the rich and the poor. There's no Yoruba man. There's no Hausa man. There's no Igbo man in Nigeria. There's no Muslim. There's no Christian. The truth is, what the Muslim man is going through is what the Christian man is going through. What the Hausa man is seeing is what the Yoruba man sees. So we are all the same. We must identify our problem as a people. We have a problem. Our problem is the gap between the rich and the poor. So now we know. I want to make it clear. We have only two people in Nigeria, the rich and the poor. And the gap is unacceptable. So in other words, we have some slave traders and some trade slaves. So the slaves are having nowhere. And let me put it this way before I bring Roland in quickly, because I don't want to talk much. You hardly see a home in Nigeria without that high fence. So you end up looking for money to build a house, and then first thing you do is to mount a mighty fence. Because what you do, you're protecting yourselves. And on a good day, if society is going well, you don't need that. And you see, today now, I can look at you guys in Nigeria. I always say one thing. The bottom line is society needs to succeed for you to be successful. Because Nigeria is a failure, we are all failures. Because, hey, where is your child studying? You're looking at me now. Your child is probably studying abroad. For how much? And the annoying thing is the amount of money you pay for that child's school fees could actually train your village, the whole people in your village. And you think your child will come back and have peace in that village. You are joking. The amount of money they use to treat Buhari is enough to set up good hospitals in one part of the country. I'm not saying it's in his village, in one part of the country, but he has been treated, he's supposed to die anyway. But now he's alive and a lot of people are dying. You think he's going to have peace? Tell Buhari may come out now. We are facing something. Listen, let me keep quiet. Let me bring Roland in quickly because if I go into this topic, I'm going to be angry. Roland, I'm going to quickly bring Roland in. Roland, you're welcome to the show. These are for information for those of you that doesn't know Roland, you know him. This is Roland Idimi. Roland himself. You're welcome to the show, Roland.
Yes, Daddy Kris. Good evening.
Good evening, Roland. Welcome. Roland, we have we talk about this again and again, Roland. Today we have a problem in our hand in the country. Annoyingly, let's start with the US. Let's talk about the currency now. Today, I sent money to Nigeria, and the pound is 2,040 naira to a pound. 2,040 naira. How are you going to survive? Sometimes I think I'm okay, but what about people there? I may be celebrating that I can change pounds for a big amount of money, but what about the people? They're going to die. I can't go there. They will take me. And if you think people will not take on you, you're joking, because if they are hungry, they will do anything to survive. It's a natural instinct. What do you think, Roland?
Daddy Kris, the situation is a tough one.
You got to be tough.
What we are experiencing now, it's a very tough situation we are passing through as a country. And to make matter worse, it's as if the leadership class, they are not either conscious of what we are passing through, or they just lack the capacity to be able to solve these problems. The problems, they are grave. For some time now, we've been having these discussions. I know the last time we met on this platform, we discussed issues relating to the exchange rate. Then also we discussed issues relating to the economy and how to create wealth. Then also job opportunities for our people. That meeting was barely 3 months ago.
Yes.
And after that, now, the things have become worse. They've become real worse. And the approach of those managing government, it's as if they are adding fuel to burning fire. So it's going to be a very tough one for the country.
Roland, do you really think the government of the day can be blamed on this? Because I think this problem it's a structural issue, Roland. How do you, is it Tinubu that makes the salary the wages of Nigeria what it is? What can Tinubu really do? I'm so worried, Roland, that we have a problem. The problem is not just a government of today that coming, because where on earth do you accept to pay a human being less than $100 in a month? Less than
Yes,
$100 in Nigeria, where they love high life.
yes, Daddy Kris, the situation is a tough one. It's a very tough situation. So, this whole nosediving of the Nigerian economy started with Muhammadu Buhari, and he almost or totally destroyed the country economically and otherwise.
Roland, are you saying with those teams, Buhari had a team? Because it was not only Buhari that was running the government. Buhari had a solid team. He has a very solid cabinet. Are you saying those guys were all stupid?
No,
That's confusing.
no, Buhari never had a solid team.
Eh?
He never had a solid team. Its appointments were based on political sentiment, tribal sentiment. As a fact, he was pushing a tribal agenda that he used in destroying even the only sector that was surviving Nigeria. Buhari destroyed it, the oil and gas sector. He destroyed it. So
he was a minister.
Nigeria, yes, Nigeria was as if currently Nigeria is as if it's just like a shadow of himself. Let me give you an example before we start this discussion proper. So currently I'm speaking from Angola.
Okay.
And I started coming to Angola, that was January 2023. Then the Naira was stronger than the Kwanza. The Naira was stronger than the Kwanza there.
Kwanza.
I don't know if you can still hear me.
I can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah, the Naira was stronger than the Kwanza. So if you want to change Naira to Kwanza so you get more. But today as we speak, the Kwanza is far more stronger than the Naira. As a fact, you now get 100 Kwanza for like 125, 100,000 Kwanza for like 125,000 Naira. That's the gap it's given the Naira. The Naira, it's like the worst performing currency in Africa. So around some few months back, I was also in Congo, and their money is almost like times 2 of our money now.
Even Congo,
do you call it safer? It's almost like times 2. So putting this whole thing at the right context, yeah, it's without argument that Buhari almost destroyed everything, even including the only sector that was producing wealth for the country, the oil and gas industry. But then, as he left, why some of us during the campaign also, we are cautioning Nigerians on their decisions, that the country is in a tough position. You don't need someone who, by his style of governance, you can say he accommodates corruption. You don't need such person at a turning point in a country.
If we be holding on Buhari, we'll be going back, because I think we have a present government. Tinubu has no excuse on telling us what Buhari has done. We have a problem here. In fact, when Buhari was there, in fact, I changed pants 2 months ago for 1,400 naira. It went to 1,300. But today it's 2,000. So that has nothing to do with Buhari. And I'm very worried. And Roland, let's look at it first. I'm happy where they said something very important here. And I want
Daddy Kris, in the last discussion we had, I narrated some of the issues that are resulting to the weak currency of today. Probably you've forgotten. So in our last discussion, we talked about this, and I told you that there are some major lapses in the Buhari administration. So what are they? Nigeria operates a mono economy. What it means is you have one commodity you sell in the international market, mainly money. That's oil. Mainly oil. So since you operate a mono economy, that industry itself that used to bring money. So why was Obasanjo time booming? Why was Yaradua Goodluck administration booming? There are reasons for it. So one of the reasons is the Goodluck administration, for instance, peaked crude oil production at 2.4 million barrels per day. So what it means, you're getting more volume, you're making more money. That's one side of the whole discussion. You're making more volume, you're getting more money. Then another side of the discussion is from Obasanjo administration. There have been deep water projects which are developed in Nigeria that, result into forests. These deep water projects are large capital deep water projects. They are multi-billion dollars projects. So when those multi-billion dollars projects come in form of foreign direct investment, it brings dollars into your economy. And by so doing, your currency will be strengthened because you're making more dollars. So Obasanjo, for instance, developed 2 deep water projects or more. He did ExxonMobil Era Main. Then he did Shell Bonga, that's Nepco Bonga. Then also, I think within his time, he started USAN for Total at that time. Then the idea of Akbo was there. Then this moved towards Goodluck Jonathan. These are multi-billion dollars projects that bring billions of dollars into your economy.
Roland, I want to come to that too. I really want to come to that because I want us to follow, because I think we can take advantage of even the dollar that is the naira that is so low, but we are not, unfortunately, we don't produce anything. But like you rightly said, the other government were able to tap in other things to bring in the money. But let's look at one thing first. Let's talk about our people. As we speak now, Roland, there will be some people say, oh, they are targeting him because he's a Yoruba man. Or they are targeting him because he's an Hausa man. They're targeting him because he's a Muslim. Oh, they're targeting him because he's a Christian. And I like what they said here. Say, thank God, the hardship knows no tribe or religion. Our people still will not wake up to the reality of what we're facing now. They're going to say, because of my brother, I will not talk about, he's in the same religion with me, or he's come from my same place. So when you say the truth to a Nigerian, the first thing they go to is, where is he from? Buhari is from the north. Anybody about north and south, we are suffering. It's not about Muslim and Christians. We are suffering, Roland. And I think that is one thing I want you to talk to first.
So Daddy Kris, it is petty to talk about religion and tribal and even political sentiment at this time. It is petty. Those are not issues anymore.
Thank God.
But even as we speak, those in Yoruba villages, they are protesting in the street. In Ogun State, in Ibadan.
I love one thing. Asani Dokuba said we should hold him. You know, he's not a serious person. Yeah.
A big bami, a big bami. The ebi that is bamina is real. So it is the issues I am telling you where the issues started from.
Thank you.
But then,
yes.
So when these issues have started and Buhari have almost destroyed everything,
yes.
Expectation in the election. That's why some of us, we were cautioning Nigerians that come, please. We need to make, that choice that can boost confidence again in the economy. But the choice, I don't know if it's actually a true choice, because so many people are still not convinced that the election went well.
Mm-hmm.
But the person we have now, with all he has done so far, Daddy Kris, I can tell you without a doubt that Tinubu is worsening the situation. Yes, with all he has done. I can clearly tell you, the guy appointed in the central bank currently, it's as if the guy does not know what he's doing, because he's being petty about, real issues. I saw some of the, policies he was articulating. He went into, domestic war against the dollar. Don't transfer dollar. All those are petty. Those will not solve problem. The only way you cannot solve this problem is you need to now start to industrialize quickly, because we have been saying it for the past 15 to 20 years. You now need to start manufacturing things you do not make. That is the only way you can survive. I know in my recent...
Donald, you just said something big. You know what I've decided to do now? I've moved all my production to Nigeria. Why? Because it is cheaper to produce in Nigeria now, because now you can produce at a cheap rate and try and sell outside. Why is the federal government of Nigeria not tapping into this? Because it's easy to say the dollar is we are down already. Why not take advantage of this? Yes.
Daddy Kris, let's come home with a discussion. Why I have no faith in the government which Tinubu is running. I have no faith in it. The faith is less than 0% I have in his administration. There are a lot of hypocrisy and mediocrity. In a country where you are having problem with your currency, in a country where you are having problem with your currency, the same country is an automaker. The same country manufactures automobile. It has its local brand of automobile.
Yes.
But yet, the government of the day
does not patronize it.
Still import massive quantity of automobile to Nigeria to run government. As a fact, your National Assembly members, which is also being replicated in all the states of the Federation.
Follow them.
They are buying foreign-made cars
in
a country that has its automobile brand. And let me put it in the right context. The automobile industry is larger by far than the oil and gas industry in terms of annual market size. So let me make it clear. The automobile industry is a bigger industry than the oil and gas industry. Then you manufacture cars, but yet, as a country,
Yes.
your senators, your House of rep members, then in the state level, your governors, even your president.
The governors,
we're coming to them. Cannot be strengthened. The currency cannot be strengthened. So that's why we caution people, because I would not expect an administration that is run by someone like Peter Obi.
Yes,
he knows the problem we have. Then he will harass some gang
that would have done
that call themselves, members of parliament or lawmakers. Then they will not be, budgeting to import cars in a country that manufactures cars.
Roland, the shameful thing is, people like us that supported Peter Obi, they didn't know that I wasn't supporting Peter. I don't know him. I don't care who Peter is. But I was interested in his package. The guy was saying it's time to move from revenue allocation to production allocation. And that's what we're going through today. Since Tinubu came to power, we've not even improved. In fact, he opened the border to bring in more rice. A rice we can produce locally. Give Buhari credit there. During the Buhari era, we were having rice. Rice were produced in the country. Today, we import rice more than before. How can, so meaning this little currency, really funny essence we have, we used to import rice. We're going to come back to this seriously. Yeah, I hope I get Roland. Roland, yes, because sometimes you may not hear me, so let me keep you here. This will help. I hope you can hear me better now, Roland.
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
Wonderful. So I'm trying to say that we do know that Peter Obi wouldn't have done this, and I'm not going to go back into that because it's not as if I wasn't even a very big supporter of Peter Obi, but I was agreeing with some of the things the guy was saying, that we should move from revenue allocation to production allocation. Now that we are here, the solution would have been a government that said, okay, we have money now, we have human beings, we have young people. You see, something is wrong with us. Nigeria have the best working class in terms of young people. The youthful population would have contributed greatly to our economy. Now the Naira is down. Are we not producing something?
Yes. So Daddy Kris, the situation is a very complex one. So when you are talking about wage and salary, is it not when somebody business is producing that he can even pay wage now? The discussion is not even about that at the moment, because even all the businesses are in trouble. All businesses in Nigeria, they are in trouble, real trouble. So imagine, for instance, the inflation level. Then how do you think people can patronize your different businesses? The businesses are in trouble, so the businesses are not going to be productive now to be able to even pay people. They are in trouble. They're in distress. Then even people, apart from the politicians who probably they have leverage to budget whatever they like or share money among themselves, even those who work in the different sectors in Nigeria who could have been able to reinvest. Let's take, for instance, in the oil and gas industry. Do you know that those that had pension in the year, let's say 2015 that Buhari came in, that their pension is around 50 million. 50 million then is like $350,000. 50 million naira today is like $30,000. You know what they have lost?
It's dying. I'm afraid to
so imagine what you had, your life savings you have worked for in the oil and gas. You put in, let's say for instance, you put in 25 or 30 years, and they say you had pension, the pension was 50 million naira, you are waiting to cash it. In 2015, it was like $350,000 you want to cash.
Yes, but today
probably you now think of reinvesting it into Nigerian economy. Do you know that the same money today, as we speak, is $30,000?
Okay.
$30,000. It means within the space of Buhari and like 8 months of Tinubu, you have lost everything you have labored for in the past 30 years or 40 years. Yeah, in life.
And Roland, it's scary. It's scary.
Let's come back now to investment. Do you know those who do real estate?
Yes.
Like in 2000 and let's put it 2015 also, that you bought land, for instance, in Lagos. Let's assume you bought the land 10 million naira. 10 million naira at that time is how much? It's a whole lot of money. That means you're looking more than $25,000 or $30,000. You bought the land. The same land now, let's say you are not selling it, is in Lagos also. You're selling it 20 or 30.
Still rubbish.
That is how much.
In fact, the money in the pound, in the dollar, it will be less. You'll be losing too. You still be losing money.
Business have become stranded also, and it has also become not attractive to invest. And the conditions are also not going to be helping to attract investment.
But Rolando, let's follow this slowly. Let's see the poor. I know you said that we shouldn't look at that we are not there anymore, but I think that's where the trouble starts from. You see, I can tell you Nigeria still have enough resources, enough money. The money is in the hands of the very few. That's why I titled this topic today, The Rich and the Poor. All right? It's just that some people have it all, some have nothing. And that is one of the core problems we have in the country. I know sometimes they call it communism. They call me a communist, but I'm a socialist. How can we live in a society where some people can go home, a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria can go home with about $100,000. The ordinary Nigerians cannot earn $30 a month. Where is the moral behind it? I'm not talking about the moral. Who is contributing more? Are the politicians contributing more than the ordinary people? These are the things I don't understand, Roland. How do we shape that? Because if that is in place, maybe there will be a kind of money leaving some of the rich ones to the poor ones, and a little bit of normalcy. Now there's anarchy in our land. Insecurity everywhere. In fact, I'm not concerned about the insecurity. I want to come home. I'm so worried sometimes, and I'm afraid to come to my own village.
Daddy Kris, you know, during the campaign, there's something we said that when youth become jobless in this type of proportion, even though you go and buy the American jets, you cannot have security. Even though you carry armor tankers everywhere, with this level of unemployment, joblessness, and hunger in the land, you cannot have security. This is the reality.
Nobody's going to preach that.
What we have said from day one, we've been preaching the same thing for the past 20 years. We say, come. We have been saying it, that come. Let's industrialize quickly and create, that enabling environment to attract investment for manufacturing, create good job and wealth for our people. With that, our people will live good life.
Yes.
They will be able to make sense out of living. And security will come as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like I said, at the beginning of this show, I made it clear that it's a natural instinct for a human being to survive. And
Yeah,
it's
so
our right.
Daddy Kris, let me also quickly say something.
All right.
You see the politicians you're talking about now,
Yes.
they are now also struggling for survival.
It's everybody's game
You
now.
have to appreciate that reality. They are not struggling for survival. So let's put the reality at the right context.
Yes.
Even though they are bulk of the problem we are facing, because even at this time, they should be, hard to solve the problem. But they themselves, they are now, struggling for survival. Because if you look at things on the right context, how much do you think a commissioner earns? Let's put it at the right. How much is their pay? A commissioner, let's say in Delta State, how much is their pay?
The 5 million.
Yeah, so let's assume. I'm not sure the state paid them 5 million, but let's assume 5 million. That's what they pay them. What is 5 million
today?
What is 5 million in dollar? That's like 2,000. That's commissioner. So they are also, imagine people, they are also now in their own trouble. And some of them, so this trouble we have, to solve it means we now need to look inward. We now need to be more creative. We now need to explore more opportunities at home. Some of them have children in where you are. 1, 2, 3, 4 children where you are. How much 4 children in UK now? How much will you use to even just renew their visa to stay there?
To stay there. Only visa fee.
The problem is
only visa fee now.
Just visa. Yeah, in a year. How much to renew their visa? Let's say the visa of one of them is £2,500. £2,500 times 4. That's like, rough estimate, £10,000. What is £10,000 today? So imagine. They themselves, high blood pressure is already killing some of them, which we know. But if you think they will be able to help the people who are already at the ground, it's a very serious situation we are.
It is. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go on a quick break, don't go away, because this is quite interesting. Right now, I'm not following the topic as I want to. But let us be clear. This trouble we're going through in Nigeria ain't nothing about the Hausa man. It's not about the Yoruba man. It's not about the Northerner or the Southerner. It's about the rich and the poor. You see, and now the politicians have got us where we are, that I don't think even the rich man is free anymore. There's no more average man that is free. One, if you even still have some money in your pocket, you don't have way to move around. You are scared. And those of us in the diaspora who want to come home with our money, we are scared. That's going to worsen the situation, because one of the things that used to survive Nigeria is we bringing our income home. If we are now scared to bring the money home, it's not going to be good. Anyway, let's stay there. Don't go away, because we're coming back to discuss this very annoying topic. We're not going to run away from the country. The country will survive. The bad ones will go away. Don't go away. Tomorrow, for your information, I have a very special guest here. We're not going to look at the federal government. We're going to come straight to Delta State. I'm going to look at the activities of the Super Deck for the past 10 years. I'll be bringing a special guest on that. He actually invited the Super Deck to come and write and explain how they've been spending their money since 2015 till now, because it's easy to blame the federal government. We want to know what the state governments are doing. Now we're going to focus on the Super Deck tomorrow, because he actually raises it. It's not Daddy Kris. Don't go and kill me. It's not Daddy Kris that raised the issue. He wrote it. But stay with me. I'll be right back. Don't go away.
SRTV Logistics is here. Are you into a restaurant business? We are here to help you move your goods from one place to another. If you're moving your goods out of the country or within the country, you can come to us. Trust us to handle your deliveries with the utmost care and professionalism, ensuring your items reach their destination safely and on time. Don't settle for anything less. We're part of the global supply chain of helping goods to move from one point of origin to the point of consumption according to the needs of customers. You can contact us with the numbers on the screen or email us at logistic@superiorradioandtelevision.com.
Yeah, welcome back, people. Today is a great day that I have. I've been the presence of Roland. It's always a pleasure. Roland is right here with me, and we are looking at. I came with the topic very brief, and I thought I would get away with it, But I have two brains on the platform. I have where there is one. If I like the other name, marvelous. Where the marvelous is always giving me what I want to hear. So, Roland, I want to share some of the things where there is sharing. But for those of you just joining us, we're discussing the gap between the rich and the poor in the country. Look at our present situation. Uroma saying, this is what I've been saying. I don't know what I've been saying. You've been talking. It's time to industrialize. The federal government does not understand. They think they have enough money to share. Like they keep sharing. A time will come, there will be nothing to share. And people will not share us. The poor people you have been sharing their destiny, they will come back and share us. That's what is going to happen because nobody's going to sit down and die poor. A man that don't have nothing to eat have right to do something to eat. It's a right. It's a right given by God. The first thing God gave to us is go out and survive. He didn't say you should go out and die. It's your right to look for food and eat. The one day I said to people, if I'm hungry in London, I'll go into a shop and open any food and eat it there. I won't take it out. I will eat it there because it's my right to survive. So if a man is hungry, if he doesn't have somewhere to pick, he's going to pick on us. Now, the problem which started from we ignoring some people in society, making them very poor, has now led us to a situation where nobody have nothing. Now, you, the rich man, have nothing. The government is afraid. I am afraid. The poor man is afraid. We need to come together and look at the problem and look at it carefully. Like what they said in the first one, before I come to this one, where they said the federal government is so interested in moving department and ministries from the headquarters to Lagos right now. I don't understand. Rather than industrialization, what a shame. I will come to that, but I really want us to look at the one which is really the. I try to bring you guys back to this topic, Roland. How do we get to this place? What do you think is really responsible? Why the gap between the rich and the poor is so high in Nigeria? In fact, that is one thing I don't understand. It will not happen anywhere else in the world. In the United Kingdom, nobody will do anything for you. In fact, let me put
we have discussed this issue before.
Yes.
And you know my position on the issue. It's continuation of slavery.
Yes.
The way we use our people. It's a continuation. If you come to Lagos, for instance, you will see so many young ladies, which normally they're supposed to be in school.
Yes.
Or they're supposed to be in a place, developing their skills. They are being employed by some other people, and they pay some of them 25,000 per month, 30,000 per month. It's dehumanizing in reality, the way we use ourselves.
Are you going to blame the young girl for doing that? Our young people they are doing wrongs. How can you blame a girl who cannot afford something to even pay her for her own part? There's a girl that said, I asked her when she said she's working for 15,000 naira. The transport to the place and come back is 3,000 then. So she's left with 3,000.
Yes. So, Daddy Kris, let me even break it down. Let me put it at the right context. So you see so many individuals doing it in Lagos. But if it is just individuals that are going about this practice, it would have been different. Even at the corporate level, you see banks still go and find out. Some banks still pay those who clean the bank, those who sweep the bank, those who even secure the banks, the security. Before now, they still pay some of them 40,000 naira. Go and find out. Or 50,000 naira. The banks. And the same bank, we disclosed that they made billions of naira every year, the same bank. But go and find out what they pay those who sweep the banking all. So that's at the corporate level. Then when you come to the religious level, there are even religious institutions with, corporate organizations that do it as well. I visited one church some time ago, their school, and one of their security guard had to help me to locate somewhere. So which exchanged contact, the guy kept calling that he needs a better job. I said, but you're working. He said it's 25,000 naira they're paying him. It's not even enough to take care of himself, let alone him and his family. This is the reality. Then I've talked about individual, I've talked about corporate organization, banks, hotels, and some other corporate organizations. Then let's come to your government. Your government is the chief, your architect of this whole problem, because your government minimum wage, your government minimum wage, as we know it today, is 35,000 naira.
In Jesus' name.
That is the reality. So what it means, when we are talking about this gap, they that call themselves political class, that will go and look for money to borrow and spend all kind of money to get into office. And when they get into office, they now need to get that money back as quickly as possible. Share resources we have, they cannot share it among themselves. That's the bulk of the problem. If not, do they pay those who work for the government? Do you know how much they pay professors now in the university? It's nothing to talk about. It's nothing to talk about. So the government is the chief architect of this problem, but it's not affecting those in the Senate who cannot share money among themselves.
Those guys are doing well. Senators and the House of Rep and the few guys, the governor, it doesn't stop the governor from collecting his fat security votes. Already a security vote can change lives. In fact, we're coming to that. In fact, today, I wanted to...
Let's also now talk about, because we've been talking about the problems, we need to talk about how to solve these problems. Because these problems, they have solutions. Yes. Yeah. These problems, they have solutions. So that's what we should focus.
So
the
Roland,
problem is
Roland, in a way that we can look at and begin to, government can now listen to us and say, okay, what this guy is saying is correct. What is the way forward? How do we take advantage? Because like you rightly said, every solution, every problem has a solution. How do we remedy this and make it better? Because actually, if people don't face difficulties, they don't come up with something great. The reason Germany grew was because Germany was destroyed and they had to rebuild Germany. That has been the story of civilization. Now that we are down, Nigeria in particular, the black race, the shameful thing is, when you talk Nigeria, you're talking of black people in the world, because we are the biggest black nation on earth, the largest. Roland, how do we get up from where we are? How do we take advantage of where we are? How do we grow? The future of our children is us.
This problem we have, it has solution.
Good.
And the solution is at different levels of solutions we have, different levels. Starting from the government. The government has a role, a very huge role to play if they are sincere that they want to tackle the problem. The government has a very huge role to play. We've been talking about the role of the government for some time now. We are going to restate some of the roles. Then as, businessmen and women in our country, we also have a lot of role to play about this. We have huge responsibility. The responsibility is not about just profit alone now. The country is in distress. So we also cannot abandon our country because of our favorable position. No, we now need to step up and look at the country and even look beyond the country, look at the continent and start tackling some of these problems. Then also the citizenry, the individuals, they have also a role to play, very huge role, together with the communities they find themselves. There are a lot of role we cannot play to, mitigate some of this impact. So let's start with the government. In all sincerity, I wrote a open letter to the President, Commander-in-Chief, Federal Republic of Nigeria. And one point I made in the letter, just one point, only one thing the government, we've been talking about industrial development, which is a process, it's long-term. But with this position we have, the government can just make one law, just only one law. The law will change everything, just one. What is it? As I said earlier, the automobile industry is larger than the oil and gas industry in terms of annual market size. The automobile industry. Let me even put it at the right context. My business, I am the CEO of SpareMart. Yeah. So we deal on spares. Not just the automobile industry, the automobile spare parts industry alone, just the spare parts industry, not the automobile industry. Just the spare parts industry alone is larger in terms of global annual market size than the oil and gas industry. Let me break it down. Just the parts does about $2 trillion market size in a year. Just the global parts industry, about $2 trillion in a year. China alone, out of the $2 trillion, China alone does $500 billion of parts sales in a year. China alone. You can see why it is a powerful country.
It is.
So we are talking about just automobile industry. Nigeria has a local brand of automobile. Nigeria has a local brand of automobile. You have Innocent Motor, and some other persons are ready and willing to also develop other brands in Nigeria. Let's assume that as you're facing this difficulty, the Nigerian government send a bill to the National Assembly. And what is the content of the bill?
No foreign cars.
Nigeria Automobile Development Bill. What will be the content? Place a ban that no government harms or tier or agency or department or ministry will ever buy imported cars to Nigeria. Just make that law. In the meeting Tinubu had with the governor yesterday, instead of talking plenty talk, send a message to the governor that this will be a national emergency law. No state governor, no state House of Assembly, no state ministry, no state agency, and the same should be cascaded to the local government. The government of Nigeria is the largest purchaser of cars in Nigeria to run all your institutions. Let's even look at it at the right perspective. So you're looking at all the ministries, all the agencies, all the local governments, even the politicians. Make a law. If you want to rule Nigeria, you cannot drive imported cars. Just one law. Just only that. You know what that law will do? That law will not only boost the local assembly industry that is already existing by Innocent. That law will make Chinese automakers
come on.
line up.
Set up here.
They must
come on, set up here. They want to come and set up here.
Everybody will just line up that they will seize this market opportunity. You know, Honda. I bought one Honda in 2015. It was assembled in Nigeria because Goodluck Jonathan almost introduced that law during his time. And as soon as he did it, Honda had already set up an assembling plant in Nigeria to start rolling under Nigeria. But it was not followed through. Just one law. You don't need to. Just make only that you will not see that
Roland.
Starting from the cars,
Roland.
you know, the ones that were first,
not
will be the Chinese one. All the Chinese brands. Let me tell you by Daddy Kris. All the Chinese brands will just line up together with businessmen that will go to China and start. People will line up in Guangzhou, in Hong Kong, Nigerians. They will be there talking with all these Chinese brands. Say, come. There's a law in Nigeria. We have to leverage on that law to boost the manufacturing. We also want to compete with Inosim. Even though if you do not want to compete with Inosim. With the manufacturing going on for automobile, ranging from cars to bus to trucks.
Yes.
To trucks. To even heavy industrial vehicles. As soon as you make that law, when the assembly plant starts, laying down and start making these cars to start selling to government, look at what will happen. The parts manufacturing industry will follow suit.
Will follow, of course.
Most people know.
We will not bring his papers. It's so. We will not bring his papers. What we have.
Most people who sell parts in Nigeria now, they manufacture in China, but they are Nigerian brand. Some of them are in my platform. They manufacture in China. Such ones, we also now get their partners to come and start manufacturing in Nigeria because there will be large market to buy, the parts directly by the OEM in Nigeria. And that will boost the parts manufacturing industry. Again,
I'm
coming. So you have the assembly, you have the parts company. You know the game changer? The game changer is with your population of more than 200 million people.
Exactly.
You cannot leverage your population. You can leverage your potential for oil and gas resources, but especially gas to drive manufacturing process with low energy to make Nigeria a hub for automobile industry, not just for Nigerians, but for Africa. It means the 1.4 billion people in Africa, you cannot actually be the one manufacturing cars and parts for them. How many Chinese population? Around 1.5 billion.
The West don't want to hear what you're saying. Roland, I can tell you one thing that the West don't want to hear what you're saying now. But that's a discussion for another day. But ladies and gentlemen, Roland said something just now. If you are listening, you better listen to this word. What he said cannot actually be applicable to every other sector. If the federal government of Nigeria wants us to survive, now that we are broke, we cannot show us, okay, anything, Tinubu, let your law be geared towards, now that you, first thing you did, sir, this is why I'm angry with you. You said they should bring in rice to Nigeria. Rice we can produce. Well, how long does it take rice?
Daddy Kris, let me even interrupt you. Daddy Kris, let me interrupt you. Hyundai Motors and Kia Motors, these are new brands.
Yes, of course.
And they're already dominant brands in the auto industry. These are new brands.
Yes.
Do you know that the Pope, wherever the Pope visits, there is this Pope motto. There's one Mercedes-Benz. The Pope goes stand. He go call the great people. You know that car, that white car.
Yes.
The Pope wanted to visit South Korea.
Yeah.
After they fly out with the Pope with his jet and the caramo, they go to the place.
Yeah.
They now say they are bringing the car. The Korean government say, no, you can't bring car. We are automaker. Send the blueprint of that car, and on there you go make one free for you. They will dash you. That's what they did. Before the Pope landed, that card already they wait for. That's serious people. That's serious people. Indians, to date, India come Nigeria, you see them with their Tata, and then they import. Yes. They're not they play without their cards after. Everywhere they go, they're not they play with them. This is the reality. But it's only Nigeria you go see a senator on national television. How will I drive made in Nigeria car on this bad road? Imagine a senator tells you that. That tells you that there's somewhere. How will I drive made in Nigeria car? The roads are too bad. And you are elected to fix the road. A senator in national television say that tells you. I see when a senator talks like that, and you check your president drove a fleet of like 200 cars in Lagos. People they allow for and say, "Come, a big meal. We are hungry. We are hungry in the street of Lagos. We are hungry." And what are the cars? You know, Lexus, bulletproof Lexus, Mercedes Benz. It's a shame. That tells you that they are not insensible to the problem and how to solve it. Then you will not get one guy appointed as CBN governor. He won't just come and say, no. The reason why the dollar is getting stronger is because people are paying things in dollar. Don't transfer dollar. And you are now isolating the ball. Then the dollar will not continue to be scarce. It tells you that there's something wrong with these guys.
Yes. Is that the most intelligent man Tinubu could have to be our student government? You see, ladies and gentlemen, I know most of you wouldn't even like what we're saying. And it boils down to one thing. Tinubu might be your brother. Or the president might be your brother. But the truth is, we are all suffering it too. You are not safe. I am not. You don't have food to eat. Your children tomorrow is at stake. We are all a problem. If we don't face it head on, we're all going to face it together. Tinubu is even in trouble because at the end of the day, after this 8 years in office, where are you going? Buhari don't run. Baba don't want to hear anything again. The man wanted to run. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in a very difficult time. It's a situation, like Roland said, is complex, but there is a way forward. He just come up with something, and I want to hammer on that tonight. That if the federal government alone can just tell us to start using what we can produce, I don't even want to stick to cars alone. He just started with cars. If we can just stick to
it's a large industry. Yes. Daddy Kris, let me tell you. You know our grandfathers, our forefathers did better than us. What were they driving? Your father, what was your father? Your father was driving pan, made in Nigeria pan. With pride.
Yes,
you know,
that was the law.
Before this.
Look at Volkswagen.
Before this set of politicians took over government and run the country there too, there was pride driving Peugeot pan. You see, yes. Then I would tell them no people where they work for government. Now they made the Nigerian car they drove. Cool. That's how we knew them. Pride. If you see somebody they work for government, you not get 504. The person never starts. But now
you see the
they kill all industries. It's to import that you want your naira to be strong. How will your naira be strong?
Never be.
How will your naira be strong? The president, he takes pride in driving Mercedes. Mm-hmm. Mercedes is a German brand. The German will not leave their Mercedes and go and even drive Toyota to run
American president will never drive a German car. Let's be clear.
Let me even give you an example. Daddy Kris, you see, the auto industry is big. Yeah, I see the firm of the Chinese. You know, some years back, let's say 5 years ago, if you did road for Lagos, just the road, cross your hand for Lagos, you know what you will see? As you are looking at the road, you'll be seeing European trucks, Iveco, Mercedes. Yes. You know, man is there. Those are the words you see. Just go your road. Tell one boy, say, please, just go road for Saple or go road for Lagos. Count the trucks that pass. What you see now is Sino truck, Shagman, Photon. The Chinese have completely taken over. They took over, effortlessly with industrial development and manufacturing. Effortlessly. So the European trucks, they are no more. Let me even break something down to you to tell you where the world is now. Do you know that even the Europeans now, they are in trouble? But then they are leveraging on you. They are leveraging on you. Yes, they are leveraging on you to survive. They are only leveraging on you to survive. Let me tell you, the car you are buying as Mercedes, assembled in US or assembled in Germany, the part comes from China.
I know.
So Chinese will make the parts, they will buy the parts and assemble in Germany or in US. So let me tell you, do you know if you set up very well, even these guys that are getting pissed off with China, they are looking for alternative market. You have not created it. The Americans are looking for alternative market. Europeans are looking for alternative. So if you had created a local manufacturing hub in Africa, which is Nigeria, to serve Africa, the Americans will even be more than happy to come and do business with you. The Europeans will be more than happy to come and do business with you. Here becomes the hub. Just as it is in China today, it becomes the hub in manufacturing for not only African market, but rest of the world. This is how you develop a country. Not a senator coming to say, no, how can we drive a Nigerian-made car?
Look at the people who talking. I want to look at another aspect of the economy. I don't think we'll have enough time to do all that today, so we might come back another day for this. But this is one thing I want to say. Now that you're really high on this art, for those of them watching this show, I want us to think about it from another angle too. Manufacturing, Roland is talking about cars. But there's something Nigeria has actually the comparative advantage. Forget about oil. It's agriculture. It's a shame, Roland. It's more disheartening that we still import food that we should be exporting. And this way it is so sad. Now the West, they don't want to eat all this chemical food. They want to eat organic food. That's something Nigeria could have been producing and selling to them. Instead, we actually import their chemical food to feed us, which is killing us. We are dying of cancer. Those days, cancer is not this rampant in Africa. We don't have the means to treat cancer. We don't have the technology. And now all we have done is depend, like what Ola just said now. You stupid senator that cannot say, oh, who am I to use a Nigerian-made car? You want to use a Japanese car. You're eating the foreign-made rice. And God go answer now. Now, to end it all, you send your child abroad. Roma, today, a child's school fees in England is £14,000. Only the school fees. £40,000 is now about 30 million naira per child. Times how many? That money would have changed the life of people in your community. The money you pay for one child, and you are proud. Who's going to send your child to a Nigerian school? You are a minister there, you are a commissioner there. God is looking at you. Sometimes you are stupid, I know, but sometimes your stupidity is not an excuse in the presence of God. If you don't know what it takes, my anger is, why, if you don't know what it takes to run the government, why do you struggle to be there? We're talking of the federal government now. Let's even talk about the state. You see, Roland, tomorrow I'll be hosting one Dr. Kehinde Tiger. He's the president of one of the biggest NGO in Delta State. He has called on the SOPADEC as we know them. For those of you that don't know the SOPADEC is the body set up by the federal government to actually solve the problem of the host community so that there will be the co-protection yet. So those people can help us. But over the years, they've done nothing. But I will say that Tiger has a lot of issues on them. He said they should give him a report as an NGO under the Freedom of Information Act, that they should give their NGO information about how they've run the place over the past 10 years. I think from 2015 to date. And I know they are now sitting on their ass, they are confused. You know, so what is going to happen tomorrow? I'm going to bring him in and we're going to look at the separate. So we don't look at only federal government. But my problem, my shame tonight, and my dissatisfaction tonight, and thank God Roland is able to touch on it, is what we can do. Not what is wrong. What we can do. Roland said, if the federal government alone can say no more foreign cars, the same way the federal government will say no to importation of rice, we'll eat what we produce. Everybody will go to farm. You produce your own food. In fact, it's a pride to grow your what you eat. It should be your pride not to import foreign rice and even eat chicken. The chicken they are eating in Nigeria, we won't eat it here in UK because the chicken will kill you. It's not healthy. I'm talking only agri and automobile. Buhari and Tinubu came to power. Those of you said Tinubu is a very smart man, very intelligent man. You have never been my man. But I was going to support you because you're my president. But the problem is you are not thinking, sir. You're not. And these are getting worse. We thought they said you changed Lagos. You were able to transform Lagos. You have transformed Nigeria now. When I talk now, some people say that Yoruba man I talk about. No. What we're talking about has nothing to do with you being a Yoruba man. How do they kill you past myself? It has nothing to do with being a Muslim. You are dying with your Christian. And those of you that say Christianity, this is the same pastor raping your wife, screwing your wife over. Not me. So go, clap for your pastors, clap for your imam. It's your problem. The problem we have today is we have only 2 people in Nigeria. That's what I come to say. There's only 2 classes of people in Nigeria. Nigeria does not know whether you're a Muslim or a Christian. It does not recognize you as a Yoruba man. It recognizes you as a poor man and a rich man. And I want those of you thinking now to know that we have only 2 people in Nigeria, the rich and the poor. The gap is unacceptable. If we're going to have a peaceful country that is free from all these security challenges we're talking about, we, the rich or the so-called elite, will find a way to take care of the poor. And you don't do it as a moral thing. It's an obligation which the government needs to introduce. Like Roland really said, it takes nothing for the government to introduce this law now, and the manufacturing sector will do well. The same way the federal government can introduce a proper law that will help you not to call people slaves, because you are insulting people by paying them 30,000 naira. But if the federal government is one doing it, why should I not? Well, I'm going to go on another break because the show is coming to an end. And like this young man said here, Samuel just said it right, that things are getting worse by the day. The hardship Nigerians are now going through. When you see what happened, like people say, what did they happen for in my backyard? It will sound lesson. The young military juntas, they are looking for a way to take over power these days. What is going on in Nigeria now? They might take advantage of it. Nobody wants military. But if this is what you, the civilians, can offer us, if what you are doing now is to take our little money and send it abroad, what stop the boys from beating the hell out of you? Because the only language you understand is maybe that. We pray it does not come to pass. Because Babangida already warned that with the way this government is running, it's a recipe for a coup. Now, people were saying that, oh, why did he say this when Buhari was there? I don't care. It's not about the North and the South, Muslim and this. I will say this. It's a fact that the government of the day is a complete failure. And when we say truth to power, they will sit up and help all of us. But if you say, oh, because now my house they're from the South, so we should keep quiet, we're all going to die down there. So let us remove na Yoruba man, na Hausa man, na Igbo man, and face the square pro challenges we have. The gap between the rich and the poor is unacceptable. It can be solved. Our economy is going down. The destiny of our children is at stake. We can solve it. But the only way we're going to do it is we're going to be sincere with one another. So I'm going to go on a very, very short break. When I come back, we're going to do the last closing of the show. Don't go away.
Are you tired of endless search for the perfect property? Look no further. Let SRTV Real Estate be your trusted partner in the journey to finding your dream home.
We can offer you a dream home in a serene environment and beautiful ambience, surrounded with modern nature. That's definitely what you crave for. Well, you asked for it, and here we have it. Why not live the best of your dreams by making do with time, space, and value? The smartest form of real estate investment is that which is done at the initial public offer.
Join the long list of satisfied clients who have chosen SRTV Real Estate for all their property needs. We pride ourselves in turning your dreams into homes.
Act today. Secure your slice of a palace, even on a flexible payment plan, and embark on a journey towards a brighter tomorrow. Your dream is valid, living in a place of fabulous wealth and great opportunities. Don't compromise the standards of living. Explore the world of vast opportunities by investing in SRTV Real Estate today. Superb location, habitable, accessible, attractive, and a secret to every smart investor. For your real estate, SRTV is trusted and reliable.
Contact us today with the number on the screen or
Email us at realestate@superiorradioandtelevision.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back. The show is one-on-one with Daddy Kris, and with me tonight is Engineer Roland Idimi. Idimi is here, and he has been able to tell us what is wrong and what we can do to save our country. And it is the right time for us to speak truth to power, and hopefully we'll get in it. So like I said, tomorrow I have a very interesting show as well. We're going to look at the activities of the Super Deck in Delta State for the past 20 years, what they have done with our money. There's an NGO, the president of an NGO, he has written to them, inviting them to bring out what they have done with the money and how they've run the place for the past 20 years. I will have him as my guest tomorrow as we look at what the Super Deck has done. Maybe they've done well, maybe they've not. It is up to you. If you work with the Super Deck or you are a fan of the Super Deck, you can join the show tomorrow and tell us what you think is great they have done with the body. But tonight, I'm still with Roland, and I really want to close the show with Roland by him telling us which other things we can do. I know he mentioned the aspect of the automobile. Roland, automobile alone, it's a big country, and I'm happy that is one. But I know I did mention agriculture. Roland, this problem, like you rightly said, is not only the government doing this. We, as a citizen, we have something to do. What can we all do today to save the country? Roland,
so like you talked about, hello? So you talked about some other sectors already, including the agriculture sector. So what we have discussed severally in terms of putting ourselves in strategic positions. We have those engagements. So some of the engagement is, making industrial development the priority of government. And there are things that the government needs to put in place. And, that takes also time and effort. That's why I just gave an example with something you can do today. And it will change the dynamics. Yes. If not, every other thing with respect to agriculture, all those are things we can actually do to reverse the trend. Yeah. Then I talked about the individual. I also talk about the community. So the position we had, it's complex. Mm-hmm. A lot of cooperation will be needed to even survive the position, which includes communal cooperation and investment. So within the community, we must now start looking for things we can do together to create wealth and for survival. You see, the way our forefathers designed our society, designed our community, they designed it like a cottage industry in the sense that at that time, it was agriculture that was thriving. So if you go to a place like Okpara Inland, where my mom came from, each of the streets is designed in a way that at the end of the street is attached to farmland. So in the morning, people go to the farm to cultivate what they will eat, what they will sell, what they will export. So you can see the design of our forefather. They designed and incorporated, production, manufacturing, trade, and commerce into our lifestyle. But those are no more. So you now see people today is, as a fact, if you come to Lagos, the energy our forefathers used to cultivate the farm, to produce food they eat, the energy now is used in the gym just to do exercise. Then when you come at it, let's say they cost to
you can't cheat.
not dig.
You can't cheat.
Who are going to do it rice? Who are going to do it rice and the cassava come sell for you and say that gym be your work cheaply? It's not going to happen.
Roland, before we go, Roland, very important. It's a very important question on the platform. Coming from Samuel, he said, "Is any update on the Delta State Sadler Industrial Development Plan project? What is the government of the day saying?" That, I mean, we owe them a little question, a little answer to that, because anytime they see me and you, they talk about the Industrial Development Park, especially the Sadler on. Where are we?
For that, the updates, the update as much as I do.
Yes.
We are not in government. We are not the one running the government. All we can do to help, we have made it public. We are also written it to them. We've also called them in a meeting and explained it to them.
A couple of times.
I think it's up to them now to do something about it or not. But going by what I have seen so far, I think my confidence level in Delta State is not also very high.
Come to that.
There are more noise. There are more noise than actual work. And noise does not solve problem. Political propaganda, noise making do not solve problem. That's all I will say about that.
Thank you very much, Roland. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try, the show is supposed to be 1 hour, but with Roland, I always do 1 hour, 30 minutes. Because Roland have a way of getting me and actually making me know. Anytime I sit down with Roland, the young man always end up educating me. I come to this show trying to make a lot of noise about only the gap between the rich and the poor, but he has actually helped us. He helped us to identify our problem, and he actually gave us a solution to it. For those in government, we're not new to you, especially Delta State. Like the young man rightly said, we have an industrial development plan that is there for you to use free. In fact, one thing, Roland, I want to thank you, and I really want everybody to know that you are the one that created that plan for the whole state. In fact, if that plan is followed, we'll be like Dubai. But they don't want to listen. I don't know why. I really don't understand why it is so difficult for the government of the day to look at the plan and actually see how it can be put in place. And funny enough, this is the first time that we have the money to get the project running. We're not waiting for the government to do it. It's just for them to create that assurance so people will come in and put their money in. Nobody's going to put their money in the way it is now. They're scared. Daddy Kris, I'm scared to put in my 2 naira somewhere, except that I can take some risk on some very minor things, which is my own. But how can I bring in somebody to go and put that kind of big money in a place that is so insecure, or a place where the government does not even understand what we're saying? So we want the government to understand and say, oh, what we're saying is good. We want it. That's all we want from the Delta State government. We want them to start from our state. The Delta State government owes the people that responsibility. Not us, not Roland, the people that you've been made to govern. And which is an opportunity. Your time will come and go. We'll discuss that another day. But tomorrow, I don't think it's a friendly time tomorrow. Roland, I'll be here again tomorrow with president of this big NGO. His name is Kende Tiger. He'll be joining me as we look at the activities of the Super Day. Because it's okay to blame other sector, but sometimes we really don't look at what the state government are doing. This time when we live in the state, we want to focus on the Super Day, because I pick on the topic because he raised an issue. He wanted to know how that body has been run. Don't take it. Don't be angry with me. I'm not the one that started it. It was Kende Tiger that wanted to know. So I'm bringing him to talk about it. It's my job to bring people who have interesting things to say. So you will hear. It's for the purpose of the public. You might not like it. You might be part of this. You might be unhappy. But the bottom line is, if we don't do this, the trouble we are facing now will continue. Now, we can't even go home. You that even have money, look at the height of your fence. Your children, where are they? You can't even be treated well. You are afraid the same way I am. We can do better. We can do better. If not for your sake, if not for my sake, for the sake of our children. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Daddy Kris, and this is One-on-One with Daddy Kris, and I'm broadcasting from SRTV tonight. Like I said, tomorrow I'll be here again, but tomorrow will be on the super deck. And I really want to thank you all for joining me. I've been disappointing very many of you. You see that the Kris is grown new beards. I'm getting old. So don't expect me to be able to sit down the way I used to. But I'll be here tomorrow. And I'll be here on Monday. I've decided to come in the next 3 weeks and I'll be really present to talk about interesting issues, because the situation in the country needs urgent attention. And that's what we are doing. My name is Daddy Kris again, and this is SRTV. I'll be here tomorrow. And if you want to join that conversation, please do feel so. As usual, it's the first time I'm going to tell you guys, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, try and subscribe to it, because so many good content will be dropping in the next few days, so that you follow up. There'll be element of film production you wish you can enjoy. We have a lot of package actually going on at the moment. I'm not the one that always announce all these things, but I have to do it tonight. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow us on Instagram and on our Facebook, so that you get the latest. The essence of our broadcast is for the public, for you to know what is going on in the society. The government has failed us. It's because we allow them to fail us. It is time for us to take our government, our country back. And that is what we are doing. I'm going to play one interesting music, which I'm not allowed to play, but I'm not going to play too long. After that, I'm going to end the show.
Politicians promise anything, make you not believe in them.
Listen, I don't think everybody want to hear that track tonight. So let's just believe in them. Politicians tell you anything, we want to believe in them. It's time for us to believe in you. But please, federal government of Nigeria, listen to what Roland had just said. If you just make that law that there should be no more, nobody in government. It didn't say anybody. If you work your own money, you can go and buy it. You can go and bring the best cars. But if you are in government office, you are not allowed to use a foreign car. Let's use innocent. It's for a car is something that will drive you from one place to the other. It's destroying us. There's something they call toffee ideology. You see, my people, let me say this. I use that instance every day because I no more take sugar, because I'm growing old now and sugar is no more doing good. You see my beard. So what you see is, when you take a lot of sugar, sugar is one of the most good food. It's very interesting. The sugar tastes very well, but sugar kills you. If you want to live well, eat a lot of bitter leaf. Bitter leaf will make your teeth strong. It will give you long life. Sugar will kill you, but sugar tastes better than bitter leaf. Which one is better? It's up to you to decide. You want to die by eating sugar, or you want to take a little bit of bitter leaf and live longer? The choice is now. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow, same time, 8 p.m. Nigerian time, when I'll be away again. And please, for those of you who like taking a lot of sugar, stop taking sugar. Federal government of Nigeria, stop giving us sugar. Give us bitter leaf. We are ready to eat bitter leaf and live longer. God bless you. And do stay out of trouble. Good night.
SRTV. Innovative